Sorry to hear you lost your first game as a Dallas Star, Mikko Rantanen. That gets 5 big booms. You ready? Boom! 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 And the Edmonton Oilers come out on top with the 5-4 victory. They barely hang on against the Dallas Stars, where that third period, it got really, really sketchy. And all I'm going to say, and I'm not picking on anyone here specifically, but never count your eggs before you count your chickens. I don't actually know how that saying goes. Never get cocky, though. Don't get cocky. Don't assume that the game is over for anyone. Anyone that was saying that this game was over and anyone was, just you can't do that. You can't play around with the hockey gods because the hockey gods are cruel, and they've been cruel to the Oilers in the past. But an overall very entertaining game of hockey, and it was very playoff-like, lots of chances for both sides. And I would say for the most part, because a lot of fans, they're going to ask me, they're going to be like, hey, what'd you think of Stu Skinner's game tonight? I liked Stu Skinner's game tonight. I think 3 out of the 4 goals were unstoppable, just impossible. Not much you can really do, honestly. Now, would you have liked a save on that one that went off Emberson because the rebound control was bad? Maybe. Did you want him to not be on his knees the whole time before Ben made it a 2-goal game? Maybe. Do you want the lateral movement to be a little bit better on the cross crease pass to Rantanen? Sure, but he also made an incredible glove save before that. So, it's hard to complain about Stu Skinner's game tonight. I thought overall he played well. He made some big saves, and I would say Dallas had some luck on their side in that third period, but they also generated their own luck because they were pressing. And when you press and press and press, sometimes you get a little bit of luck. Sometimes it's all skill as well. And it's a combination of both. So I know there's Dallas Stars fans that do tune into the videos ever since the playoffs last year. I just want to say good game. And I also want to ask you Stars fans, what did you think of Mikko Rantanen? Sorry you had to see him get leveled a few times at the start of this video. I just love Jake Walman so much. The wall, man. I'm calling him the wall, man, because he's a wall. Get it? Like when you run into a wall. Please clap. Anyways, there's lots to discuss about this game. I'll have a lot more of my thoughts kind of contained in the day after discussion tomorrow. But for tonight, this is just a pure reaction to the game. We're going to talk about Jake Walman. He was a +3 rating today, and he had an assist. He set up Zach Hyman for Zach Hyman's second goal of the game, and what an incredible pass. Little alley-oop pass to Zach Hyman. Just a thing of beauty. You absolutely love to see it. And Jake Walman, man, I'm telling you, there was a little bit of uncertainty about him because, I don't expect fans to watch the San Jose Sharks regularly. Jake Walman is a defenseman that the analytics community specifically, at least in terms of my circle, the analytics community that I talk to and discuss things with all the time, that's a defenseman that has been on our radar for a little while, and that's a defenseman that we have all really liked. And for how good he was on that San Jose Sharks team that he came from, I had a feeling that he would be a really good fit with the Edmonton Oilers. And him and Darnell Nurse specifically, I thought had a terrific night. Other than the last minute of the game, Darnell Nurse, he tried to glove the puck ahead when Dallas pulled their goalie, and then he had lots of time to clear it, and then he didn't clear it, but that's beside the point. Darnell Nurse and Jake Walman played very strong together, and if that's a sign of things to come, that gives the Oilers a whole bunch of options moving forward with how they want to roll their defensive core, because when Matthias Ekholm gets healthy, he'll be back with Bouchard, you'll have Nurse with Walman, and then you can do Kulak and Emberson as your third pair, which is just incredible, phenomenal depth that this team has, and then you have Stetcher and Klingberg as your extras in case there are injuries. But Walman adds a totally different dimension when it comes to the defensive group. He's a left shot D-man. He has skill. He can lay the body, which we've seen him do to Mikko Rantanen in the neutral zone at the end of the second period. And he has an offensive touch. He's smart in his zone. He can penalty kill. Of course, he was on the ice for 1 penalty kill goal against tonight. The Oilers did give up 2 power play goals on 3 attempts, and game management was game managing tonight. Dallas Stars down 4 goals. Of course, they're going to get the next power play. The Oilers got 0 power plays tonight. I just want to congratulate the Dallas Stars for playing a clean game of hockey. They took 0 penalties, and that's just incredible. Kudos to the Dallas Stars for playing the cleanest game of hockey that the NHL has ever seen. Just give it up for the Dallas Stars, my friends, and give it up to the NHL officials for calling a perfect game. Of course, every penalty that Edmonton took was a penalty, and every infraction that Dallas committed was not an infraction. So we absolutely love to see that. If you can't tell how sarcastic I'm being right now, obviously. Obviously, the officiating didn't totally play a part in this game, but it absolutely could have, because it's 5-1. Dallas gets the power play. It's 5-2, and then they make it 5-3, and momentum, right? We talk about the ebbs and flows of hockey games all the time, and that's a momentum thing. The Oilers, they could have, if they would have killed it, momentum would have been on their side. And the Dallas Stars, they're a great team. They don't go away. Like, if anyone thought that the game was truly over after the second, we, don't get too excited, because Dallas is a good team, and they're not going to go down without a fight. Although I will say I'm very surprised at Dallas's lack of response to the physicality from Edmonton. The Oilers generally are not a physical team, but they out-hit a pretty big Dallas Stars team. Now, I know Dallas, they have injuries, and I really hope Rupe Hintz is okay. He took that puck up near his eye. I really hope that he's okay. That did not look good. Sending my well wishes out to him, because that looked terrible. So hopefully he is okay. But for the Dallas Stars, they got hit a decent amount tonight. They were kind of run around on the ice, and there wasn't a response from anyone. And Dallas has had their injury troubles this season, and you don't want other guys dropping the gloves and then possibly even making things worse. You can break a hand, you can cuss. There's so many things that could happen during a fight. I just was surprised, though, and even Louis DeBrusk had mentioned on the broadcast, after Rantanen was leveled by Walman at the end of the second, he said he looked over at the Dallas Stars bench and nobody was standing up on the Stars bench. And it's weird, because Rantanen, he's your new player. You just signed him. He's the shiny new toy. You think you kind of want to protect him a little bit. But at the same time, he hasn't been in that locker room for a whole long period of time. So maybe the players are just letting him get his feet in the water, and they're like, just got to be positioned better. Don't get hit, kid. Not that Rantanen's a kid, but it was a really great game. Connor McDavid, he looked like he was back to his old self. So we're going to kind of take a look at the box score here. Of course, Wyatt Johnston, he opened up the scoring for Dallas on the power play, but the Oilers with a great response only 30 seconds later. Zach Hyman with his 21st of the season, assisted by McDavid and Nurse. And then Hyman, of course, he got that second goal of the game for Edmonton, and his second of the night. Would have loved to see him get the hat trick. No Oiler has a hat trick this season, by the way, which is crazy. They were saying on the broadcast, too, Jack Michaels was saying that the Oilers as a team, the last time nobody had a hat trick during a full regular season was in 2010, right in the middle of the decade of darkness. You love to see that. You love to hear that. Victor Arvidsson, he got off the schneid tonight with an absolute bomb past Jake Ottinger's glove, off the post and in. Terrific goal. And then Connor McDavid, we got to go to the edge visualizer here, because he absolutely made Lyubushkin look like a pylon. This is so good. This is vintage McDavid, in and out, dipsy-do around the defender. Ottinger, he was coming out of his crease, thought maybe he was going to try and poke check it. He decided at the last second, that's not what I want to do. He's backing into his crease, but that one hand on his goal stick, he's not in a set position where he can get that glove back up, and Connor McDavid makes him pay. He goes top shelf, an absolute beauty. And then Connor Brown gets his own rebound. Connor Brown, his second goal in 32 games. Let's go, Connor Brown. We love to see that. He got a 2-on-1 with Janmark. Great play in the neutral zone. He gets the shot off, deflects off a defender back to him, and he puts it in. And it was 5-1 Edmonton. And then things got sketchy in the third period. Of course, we don't need to go through the edge visualizer of these. I'm not overly concerned at the fact that this ended up a 1-goal game. My concern is I'd like to see Edmonton continue to really push when they have a lead. That's what we want to see, right? Like, it's one thing to have the lead, and it's a big lead, and of course, score effects take over. Score effects is a thing where when teams are up big, they tend to just kind of, go into a little shell. But for the Edmonton Oilers, you got guys that are, feeling good, and you don't want anything that can kind of take that away from them. And I hope it doesn't. I hope the fact that Dallas almost came back tonight doesn't affect them at all. This team looked legit for about 50 minutes during this hockey game. And if they play like they did for that first 50 minutes, we're in good hands. And that includes Stu Skinner too, because he did make some big saves. You got to give credit to literally everyone tonight. In terms of my 3 stars of the game, first star, we're definitely going Jake Walman. I mean, we could give it to Hyman with 2 goals. We could give it to McDavid, who had a couple points. But Jake Walman, I think, was really the star tonight. You absolutely love to see that for Walman, and hopefully he's able to sustain that. Hopefully he's able to continue that. And pretty fun game overall. Now, before we head out, I am going to take a look at some questions that fans have sent in. I did put out a tweet after the game here, so there's a couple questions that I'll go over from the fans. If you don't follow me on Twitter, absolutely give me a follow. This is something that I'm going to try and do in the future for all post-game fan reactions. So, first question, Steven asks, I only watched last minute of the game tonight. Were the goals against really bad, or was it an entire team collapse with weird bounces? I wouldn't say it was a team collapse, and the goals weren't bad in terms of like you want Stu to make, like you expect Stu to make the save. They were a combination of luck, a combination of skill. You might have wanted to save on one or two of them, but I'm not going to hold the flame to Skinner's feet on this one. When you go and watch the highlights, you're kind of going to understand what I mean. I'm not putting those on Stu tonight. I think Dallas, again, they were pressing. You shoot the puck towards the net, good things happen, and that's all I'll say about that. Tyler asks, why must we always go full Oilers, referencing the fact that this team just can't seem to lock games down, and I totally agree and understand that. I wish the Oilers could just win a game in regulation comfortably. I don't think the last comfortable regulation win has come since that 6-2 win against Vancouver, like forever ago, way back in January. So for the Oilers, I agree. I'd like to see them not go full Oilers. I would have liked to see them close this one out 5-2, maybe 5-3. Although I did predict the 5-3 win, and I did give the Austin Hockey Guarantee that Edmonton was winning tonight, whatever the score ended up being. So the Austin Hockey Guarantee, I'm telling you, man, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. 60% of the time, it works every time. And then Trent asks, do the Oilers have enough to win the Stanley Cup? And who are the likely opponents? It's a little too early to take a look at the playoff picture, but the Oilers' first opponent, if the playoffs started today, would be the Los Angeles Kings. And I think the Oilers have a great chance against LA. And assuming Vegas comes out on top in the Pacific and they beat whoever's in the wild card, whether that is Calgary or Vancouver or St. Louis or whoever ends up in one of those wild card positions, maybe Colorado, who knows. The Central's weird. I don't know which teams you could see drop down in the wild card. But Vegas, I would assume Edmonton would meet Vegas in round 2, assuming we can win round 1. And then round 3 is when you would come up against one of the Central Division powerhouses, whether Winnipeg, Colorado, Dallas. Overall, I do like Edmonton's chances tonight. And for the past few games here, the Oilers have now won 3 of their last 4. They are trending up. They're trending in a really good direction. I'm very positive on the team right now. I was positive after the trade deadline. I was positive in the pregame report, and I'm still very positive. I like the makeup of this team. I like what they might be able to do here and go on a bit of a run in March. Traditionally, historically, the Oilers are a very good team in March. I don't know if it's just because the days are getting a little longer and players are getting excited for the playoffs. But if they play like they did tonight, for the most part, Connor McDavid, he's back at that level that we expect from him. We have as good a chance as anyone. We have the 2 best players in the entire world. Every other team in the NHL, they load up to try and beat the Edmonton Oilers. We are the team to beat, at least when it comes to the optics across the league. They know that Edmonton is stacked. And if players can get going offensively, Zach Hyman, Victor Arvidsson, if Podkolzin can start to find his game, if Nugent Hopkins can start to contribute, the team's in a good spot. And with Jake Walman added to that defensive core, get Matthias Ekholm healthy, and continue to shelter Stu Skinner for the most part, I like our chances, but it's way too early to think about that. Obviously, we'll be looking at the playoff picture, the playoff odds. I guess before we go, we can take a look at the NHL standings just so that we can kind of see where the Oilers are sitting in the Western Conference. Winnipeg, of course, will likely be in that President's Trophy race with Washington. Dallas, they were on an absolute tear until that loss tonight. Colorado's won 5 in a row. So the Edmonton Oilers, they are 4 points behind Vegas. However, Vegas has a game in hand, 5 points up on LA. LA has 2 games in hand. So assuming LA makes up ground with their 2 games in hand, they would have a 1-point lead on Vegas. So the Oilers, they control their own destiny. They control their own destiny on whether they get home ice advantage, which is key in my opinion, especially in that first round. And the wild card picture, who knows, man? You got St. Louis, who got a point tonight. They are 7-1-2 in their last 10. They are really pushing for the playoffs. Wouldn't that be something if Edmonton came up against Dylan Holloway and Philip Broberg in the postseason? That'd be wild, eh? But that's going to be it for me. That is my post-game fan reaction. I know it's kind of wordy. I know I've just been kind of rambling, but I hope you enjoyed. I hope you enjoyed the game tonight. I hope you enjoyed the rest of your weekend. The Oilers embark on a bit of a road trip here, I do believe. Let me just quickly check the schedule. Yes, they're heading out east. They will play New New Jersey on Tuesday, and then they will play the Islanders on Wednesday, and then Friday, the Rangers. So we'll see how it all goes. I'm pretty sure I got all those days right. I did, yeah. So they're heading out on an Eastern Conference swing. So yeah, interesting. It'll be interesting to see how they do on this Eastern Conference road trip, because the last one they went on was absolutely horrifying, other than that win in Carolina. So hopefully they play much better. That's all from me. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed this post-game fan reaction, make sure to smash the like button and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you really liked it. Tell all your friends and family about the channel if you think they'll enjoy my Oilers content or hockey content in general. We upload daily here, and I can't thank all of you enough for your support. It means the world. I'm excited to climb towards 5,000 subs here with all of you. We are a beautiful community here, all about positivity and fun and memes, and it's a good time. And when the team's winning, we all feel good. So we'll see you later. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Keep an eye out for that day after discussion sometime tomorrow. Can't guarantee what time it'll be up, and we'll see you soon. Tell someone that you love them, and as always, fight like a kid, fight like Ben. Let's go Oilers.